Alrighty, welcome everyone. I'm Tiabu, and it has been another long day of treasure hunting and other things, and it's still not over. I've still got to record Chihayafuru, but it's like 6:40. I just rendered out all the other things, all the seasonals, all that stuff, and I wanted to record this and then upload everything. And while it's uploading, I will record Chihayafuru, and we'll figure it out. So along with Vinland, I watched three new shows today. One of which decided to be a real bastard and drop 3 episodes, and I ended up watching all of them. Wasn't really planning on doing that, but then I did. We'll talk about that later, because I want to do these in the order that I watched them, and I watched that one last. So we had Vinland. I made a really good decision yesterday, which was to watch Liz and the Bluebird yesterday instead of actually doing it today when I was supposed to, which was a very good decision past me. Nice job, because there was just no way I would have been able to do all the things that I needed to do today, and that just no way. So it got the time it deserved, and these all get the time they deserved, and yay. So three new shows today that I watched. The first one was Keshicho Tokumubu. I'm not gonna say the whole name. It's a really long fucking name. It's Keshicho word Tokunana, or Special Crime Investigation Unit Special 7. All right. This is apparently, it seems to be the first show by the studio's Anima and Co. And it was pretty okay. I actually really enjoyed this episode. There are 2 directors listed, and they are episode directors and like minor directors on a bunch of things that I had never seen. So I went into this with like no expectations, and I came out of it going, "Oh, that was a fun first episode of a police procedural." Um, Nothing super special or ultra amazing or anything like that, but definitely beyond watchable and a fun, snappy police procedural. The way that they introduced the characters was a lot of fun. Really quick, with a good bit of thought into how they were going to characterize these individuals and make it clear to viewers that that there's a wide range of cast in here. It's a pretty bog standard seeming intro to a police procedural. We've got our bright-eyed, bushy-tailed rookie novice naive kid who wants to be an ally of justice and all of that jazz, and he meets the opening scene is him in a fire in some kind of terrorist incident, and some other cop comes up and saves. It's very Fate. Comes up and saves him and is like, "Justice is the best," and he's like, "Whoa." And then he becomes a cop, because of course he does. And then we jump cut to him in a bank, and the bank is being robbed, and there's another cop there who happens to be a member of this Special Crime Investigation Unit Special 7. So they meet, and he's kind of jaded, and like he's the old hat. He's been in this business for a while. He's been a cop. He's seen it all. He doesn't really care about the justice and stuff. And now he's got this bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, naive rookie who wants all that stuff to be cool. Also, the world has elves and dwarves and vampires and stuff. Okay, there's also a really hot vampire lady. Okay, with a sword. Okay. And then we snap through some introductions of some characters, do some heisty stuff, and ta-da, now you're a member of the crew. Cool. Um, Nothing fancy here, nothing crazy or super out of the ordinary, but it hit all the beats that it needed to, and it was a pretty good time. So I would recommend checking this out if you like police procedurals, buddy cop type of stuff. I don't know how good it's gonna be. It definitely gave me a kind of a cop crafty feel, although it had I'd say the production was a notch above Copcraft's, uh, certainly. Oh yeah, and the OP is extremely reminiscent of the Psycho-Pass 2 opening, which somebody helped me find. You'll see in the reaction. I'm like, what was that? That thing that this reminds me of? Psycho-Pass 2, or Psycho-Pass opening 2 is what it reminds me of, with the sort of the flat, high contrast, dark blacks and grays with spot coloration on certain characters and varying colors. Yeah, it looks pretty good. The whole show itself looks pretty okay. The character designs are pretty solid. Also, it's an anime original. So if you're invested in watching anime original series because they're anime original, check this one out. Uh, all in all, I give it a pretty solid. If it weren't Sunday and there weren't other things airing that day, and other things that I have scheduled that day, then I might watch more of it. As it stands, I'm probably not gonna watch more of it just because time, but only because time, not because bad show. Make sense? I think so. Okay, second thing that I watched was Actors, Songs, Connections, which on the surface very much looks like another male idol show and kind of is. It is a very, I found it very bland and rather boring. I did end up going through the entire episode just because there were some weird curiosities in the episode that I was hoping would be slightly more explained by the end, and they weren't. I also wanted to hear the first like insert song, and that was near the end, so I just waited for it. Uh, Very bog standard. That's just the idea that I get of this. Very bog standard school, boys going to school. I don't know. I don't find any of them like interesting, and I don't find any of the character designs either attractive or endearing. So it just did like very little to me. Um, this is by Studio Drive, and it also appears to be their first show. So that's neat. The weirdest thing about this show is that it's source listed, where it usually says like manga or novel or light novel or original. It says music, which is a little weird to me. Like, how did this work? I don't know. If you have any information on how Actors Songs Connection came to be, I might be interested in finding that out. But I am certainly not interested in watching more of the show. It's got a sort of dramatic twist in the middle that didn't land for me, and didn't really care for any of the characters. A couple of voice actors I found really annoying, and it was just it was okay, but like a 5 okay, just like barely sat through the entire episode. Would not recommend. And then finally, the show that ruined my schedule and plans for the day, and I'm kind of happy that it did, was Babylon. So this show was scheduled to air tomorrow, but it aired today, and not only did it air today, they dropped 3 fucking episodes at the same time. Now, whether this is going to be like just 3 episodes this week and then a new episode next week, or there are going to be like 3 or 4 weeks before we get another episode, I don't really know. I assume it's like that Vinland Saga type of thing where they drop the 3 and then we got a few weeks to catch up on production and stuff or whatever. But they dropped 3 episodes, and I've had my eye on this anime since it was announced, thanks to some people who pointed it out to me in Discord. We usually like go through what's airing and are like, this looks really cool, this looks really awesome. But some people pointed it out. It's a novel adaptation by Studio Revo Root, the people who brought us the Furikuri alternative, and it is by the director Suzuki Kiyotaki, or Kiyotaki Suzuki, who directed Psychopaths 2 and Furikuri Alternative, which both get a solid yikes from me. However, I've been excited about this for a while. The promo art looks dark and interesting and intriguing, and it is listed as one genre or tag or whatever you want to call it, thriller. And I fucking love thrillers. I especially love anime thrillers. They're cool, they're hard to do, there aren't that many of them, but when they work really fucking well. And a lot of like the best shows are considered thrillers. This was really solid. This show was really solid. The first episode especially, there was just some some quality here. There was some good stuff in the direction. The writing felt solid. There was actual like police work going on. The twists and the red herrings, every single one of them got me. And if you know me, you know I'm trying to pay attention to everything and like trying to suss out what's going on, and it just took me for a ride. It just absolutely took me for a ride in that first episode. And I had planned to just watch the first episode and be like, I'll catch up with this later if it's any good. It was good enough that I felt the need to watch all 3. And getting to the end of the 3rd episode, I finally was like, that's why they released all 3 at the same time. This makes sense. There's a big twist, and you'll get to it because you're gonna go and watch it, right? Right? Yeah, go watch this show. I really sincerely doubt that you'll regret it. Pretty much everything about it landed for me. The character designs, the art, the animation. There are some cool cuts in some weird places. You'll see what I mean when you get there. Episode 2 has some really interesting direction choices and some really intriguing like playing around with aspect ratios for purpose. And everything in the show felt like it had a place and a reason and a purpose for being. The writing seemed solid. The characters are cool and interesting, and somewhat relatable at the moment as we find out more and more about them. The world and the philosophical uh content here, let's just say philosophical. I don't want to spoil any of the stuff, you know. The philosophical content here is very interesting. I will say, um I'm not a big fan of trigger warnings, but I will give you a trigger warning. There is stuff that addresses suicide in depth, like a lot, and questioning the morality and ethics of suicide. So if that's like a problem for you, maybe give this one a miss. But if not, or if you think you could stomach that, or if you are willing to, I don't know, suspend your fear and allow this show to take you for the ride and think about these things in sort of a hands-off sort of way, then I would highly recommend going in and at least checking out the first episode of Babylon to see if it lands with you as well as it landed with me, because I really enjoyed this show. And honestly, unless it falls apart in a big way, either in the writing, which seems doubtful because it's based on a novel, or in the production, which is a possibility. Don't really know. Don't really know. Reverie doesn't have exactly either the best track record or much of a track record. But if it doesn't fall apart in a big way on those fronts, this is going to be a dark horse contender for show of the season. And I'm saying that right now. I'm not saying it's show of the season or anything like that. But just from the first couple of episodes, it seems like a contender. And I haven't seen a lot of people talking about it. And I think that's a damn shame because it was really, really good, in my opinion. All right, I'm gonna wrap this up and go ahead and record some Chihayafuru because we're on to season 2 and that sounds like fun. So, Mitiubu, these shows I watched, some of them really good, some of them pretty good, one of them not so good. Uh, Check out Babylon for sure. If the Keishicho, the crime investigation unit one seemed like it might be your cup of tea, take a sip, check it out, see if it's any good for you. Um, Maybe give Actors Songs Connection a skip. You probably already did, but I'm watching everything, so blah. I think also Africa Salaryman, something like that, also aired today. There's just no way I'm gonna watch it today. I'll throw it into tomorrow if I have time tomorrow. I should have time tomorrow, I think, but there's just no way I'm gonna do it today. So those were the 3 shows. Check out Babylon. Check out Case Show, whatever, and skip Actors Songs Connection. Nice. That's it for me. Peace.